I 10,000% stole this idea for this video from the angry unboxing nerd himself, Mike Tapp. And if he doesn't like it, I'd be really bummed because he's a cool dude and I would feel bad that he's like, why would you steal my shit? But I said something about it in a comment like, hey man, I want to do this. And he said, go for it. Quite a few people have asked me to do like a tour of my collection. I think every collector gets that at one point or another. And I have not set out to do it just yet. So this is as close as you're going to get for now. What I have prepared for your eyes is a nice tour of my collection as far as signed pops and things of that nature. So, without further ado, let's take a look at what I got. We're going to start with two pieces. They were some of the first signed figures that I got. I think they're actually the two first figures that I had that were signed. I got them from a resale shop here in Ohio called The Exchange. I think they have them in PA, maybe Michigan. I don't know, but it's an awesome store. Their vinyl selections are usually pretty good. And sometimes they'll get these rare finds in. And because there was no JSA or Beckett or anything, and the store can't authenticate the signature themselves, they sold them for $25 a piece, which made me super happy. I want to say I bought... Let me just grab them here as I lean awkwardly close to you. I want to say that I bought these like 2 years ago. I was in like a really shitty place, and that's when I kind of started picking around with collecting and slowly getting into it until it's become what it is today. So we'll start with this one. This figure, House of 1,000 Corpses. Look at that. Signed by the man, Bill Moseley. The Boogeyman is real, Otis. I love this figure. I was so stoked when I saw it up on the shelf, and I was like, yo, this has got to come home to me. I texted a few friends who were big collectors and would know signatures, and I got their thumbs up on both of these being authentic, and that's all I needed. I trusted them, and I'm so glad, because this is my only Sid Haig signed piece. And look at that. Do I stutter, bitch? Now, the downside, as I'm sure anybody who has these figures knows, is these cases had a really bad habit of yellowing, so the case is not in good shape, and I know that. It's cracked at the top, whatever. But the cool thing is, this is mine. It doesn't matter. Nothing else about it matters, because this is mine and I love it, and that's what matters. If you see something that you want to collect and you love it, even though other people might say it's a little too beat up, if you want it, if it makes you happy, grab it. Boom. Sid Haig. My only Sid Haig piece. I believe I got that after he'd passed away, but I could be wrong. It might have been shortly before he passed. Let's keep going. The next figure I have, boom, Hatchet, Mr. Victor Crowley there. Now, I cannot wait to get Kane Hodder added to this, because I 100% will. On the front here, we have To Josh, Stay Out of the Swamp from Felissa Rose. And on the side here, we have Josh, It's Dylan Time from Dave Sheridan. I was able to snag this when we had our private signing with Dave and Felissa for Zompire out in Allentown, PA. This piece, I love it in general, but because it was that extra little like special moment of doing that private signing and everything, the first private signing I've ever been responsible for, thank you to Vlad and everyone at Zompire for trusting me to do that, by the way. So, yeah. It's Dylan Time. Stay Out of the Swamp. Awesome Hatchet piece. Now, let's dive into the pops. It's kind of hard to figure out what order to show these in because I love them all so much. But I'm going to start with... I'll start with my least favorite. How's that sound? I got this in HorrorAutographs.com mystery box. This is, right there in the back, we have Andy, Alex Vincent signing the pop. On the front here, we have Child's Play 2 from Alex Vincent, who played Andy. Do I like it? Yeah, it's cool. But I don't like that it's Alex Vincent on a Chucky pop. It just, I mean, I get they're in the same movie and everything, but I don't know. It just seems weird. So I have that one. Again, mystery box pull from HorrorAutographs.com. My hard cases, I hate the bottoms open up. It's just weird. Next up, this one came all the way from Fearsome Figures. Great company. Love Fearsome Figures. Nick is an awesome dude. This is Linda Blair, signed with the character name Reagan there. Now, great story that I tell all the time about this. When Fearsome Figures teased this signing opportunity, it was a mystery. I was under the assumption that it was going to be Eileen Dietz, who also played Reagan in the movie. She played Reagan in the scenes that were deemed inappropriate for Linda Blair to play because of her age. And I said something about that in the bunker, and someone decided to rip me apart and pretty close to just calling me stupid for even thinking that. So, one of my favorite collecting experiences. There's always going to be someone to nitpick at you, but there was logic in my thoughts, so bite me. Linda Blair. Nice purple. Moving on. This one came from Zobi. They had the private signing. This is JSA certified. This was with Mr. Corey Taylor with that clean, crisp, legible signature. Corey Taylor has kind of a lazy signature. It's just a little swoop thing. But still, I do love this pop. I have loved Slipknot since I was in like junior high, I think is about what the age I would have been when their first album came out. So when Zobi teased this, I grabbed it. I jumped right on it. Didn't expect for Fearsome Figures and Mintage to follow so shortly behind with their own options, but I'm still glad that I got this one. This is one of my favorites in my collection for sure. All right. Another one that doesn't have any kind of JSA or Beckett, but I got this through a friend of mine who went to a convention, and he met Mr. Danny Lloyd, who played Danny Torrance in The Shining. I am obviously a huge Stephen King fan, so when I got this one, I believe it was my first signed pop, but I saw it and I was like, can I have that? Buy it, obviously. I didn't take it from the guy, but so I bought it from a friend of mine, and pow. Red Rum, Danny Lloyd, Danny Torrance, Shining Pop. Good one. Alright, so the next one, they kind of go together. We'll start with this one. This was another Zobi auction grab. So that is Jackson Robert Scott, who played Georgie Denborough in the new It movies. This is JSA certified. Georgie obviously doesn't really make it too long in the It movies, but iconic role. I mean, Jackson Robert Scott is going to be remembered for that role forever. And who else is remembered for that role and will always be remembered for that role? Tony Dakota. CSR Collectibles had these not long ago. They might still have some left, I don't know, but I couldn't believe it. I would have the opportunity to put new Georgie with OG Georgie. I could not pass it up. So, we have our Tony Dakota. Georgie, I need to get a hard case for it. But these two as a pair, like, made me so happy and continue to. Whenever I see them sitting side by side, just like, man, if Toy Story were real, you guys probably have some of the best hangouts when I'm asleep. Boom. And last but not least, this is one of my favorite pieces. I actually bought this after trading off a Scream mask signed by Neve Campbell, because I had been eyeing this piece for so long and wanted it so bad. So you're going to get a little story with it. We'll make this video longer than it needs to be, huh? This is Kip Weeks, the Man in the Mask, with the Because You Were Home inscription from The Strangers. One of my absolute all-time favorite movies. Why does it get so much hate? I don't know. I think I love it so much because it's based on, not literally obviously, based on my childhood nightmares. I grew up in the last house on the left of a dead-end dirt road. Thank you, for horror's sake, for pointing that out to me in a conversation that we had. Last house on the left in a house on the end. Last house on the left, dead-end dirt road, surrounded by trees. And I used to have these nightmares of people sneaking up through the woods in front of the house and throwing rocks and yelling and screaming and harassing us. And we'd go to the front door and open it, and no one would be there. But then they'd be at the back of the house doing the same thing. And it would continue and continue and escalate until they finally broke in. And that's when I would wake up, terrified. When I saw that movie, when it came out in theaters, I went to see it, and it threw me for a loop. I could not believe that I was seeing my childhood nightmares on the big screen, and it made me so happy. So that Kip Weeks piece had to have it. So that's it for my signed figures and my signed pops. I don't think I missed any. There's a chance that I did, but I don't think that I did. So thank you so much for stopping by. Go check out the Angry Unboxing Nerd. His link will be in the description. Tell him that I'm a jerk for ripping off his idea. Give him thumbs up, and let me know what you think of my collection. Tell me about yours. This was a fun one. I'm glad we got to do this little tour together. Have a great day.